All right, shalom everybody. Peace for those who love peace and no peace for the wicked, the Lord said. And you guys, if you want to apologize for being late, it's okay. I accept apology. We accept GoFundMe. We accept cash. We accept, Misyar Zawaj, Hotel Zawaj. All kind of donation is welcome. All right? And okay. So today our topic is about a guy, his name is Dr. Umar. Dr. Umar, he left Islam. And the Muslim trying to find solution, he's wrong. He is very wrong. There's any noise in the background of my microphone? There's any noise? Let me know if you hear any noise. Okay, beside farting. We Arab, when we fart, is different fart, by the way. It's like, it's like airplane. What is this? Guys, I just click at the software I have for podcasting. I found that they have a list. A list of a music to play or whatever. They are funny. What is this? Oh boy. Let us see what is next. Party noise? Oh, man, this is for kids. This is literally for kids. Oh. Wow. That's good. I like this one. Let me play it again so we can get hot. Man. Are we ready? Are we? I just found this in the software, by the way. That's it. This is all the sounds. All right, there's a new edition you see in the screen. I created code, so those who they are always complain about how to find me in Discord. You scan the code there in the screen and you can find us. And the one in the upper side of the screen is for Patreon. I think this is the easiest way for people because they keep asking how to find. We will take them from time to time and put them from time to time. We have our friend here, Salvador Soldier. He said he got baptized yesterday. Graduation for you, my friend. Happy to hear that you got baptism yesterday. Good for you. Oh, I see the chat is not coming in the top. Let me move the chat. Make it appear in the top. Oh. All right. So all right, so now if we have the chat, here we go. So this is our friend Salvador, he got baptism. Wonderful. Why you guys are laughing at the music I played? You don't like it? Okay, I will punish you with it. If you are smart, Abdul, maybe I will give you this one. Like, it says here, a tringle. This will remind me of this Hindu woman, she is God. Remember? Tingling, tingling. No, not this one. Where is the tingling one? Hold on. No, I don't think this is fit for tingling, tingling. This is a lot of tingling. Anyway, let us go and see what happened. And this monkey, this blonde monkey, he is trying to explain to you something very important. This is one of my favorite blonde monkeys. There's monkeys, all kind of monkeys. There's Arab monkeys, there is white monkeys, there is all kind of monkeys. And this is my favorite monkey. He's a Muslim. He converted to Islam. And he want to explain to you something you don't understand. A monkey. Go. Hold on. The sound is not coming good. Let me fix it. I want you to hear the monkey clear. Seriously, he looked like a monkey, you know. He act like a monkey. As they say, you know, if you talk like a monkey, walk like a monkey, you are a monkey. What I can say. This is what they say, like, you walk like a duck, you talk like a duck, you are a duck. Walk, walk. So this walk, walk is going to give you something special, you know. He's a sheikh now. He's a sheikh. I mean, look at his beard. Look at the hat he's wearing. If you don't believe it. Even the beard which is between his legs is even longer. Go. What? Salam. I mean, he's not an Arab. Those are our slaves. You see, those are our slaves. He's not an Arab. We force him to speak in Arabic. Like he is, and not only that, he have to salute and Allah, he pray on Muhammad in Arabic. Allah himself is a slave of the Arab. So Allah, he pray on Muhammad in Arabic. The Abdul, the monkey, he pray on Muhammad in Arabic. Everybody pray on Muhammad in Arabic. Okay, we will find out what this Arabic, problem here. Let us see. Maybe we can find a solution for it.
And welcome all viewers. Today I received a message from a brother about a video clip that went viral. Dr. Umar explains why he left Islam. Why do I need to learn the Arab language to worship God? So brother, he sent me this video with the message, Assalamu alaikum. I think a video on this topic would be beneficial because me personally, one of the most common rejections I get from non-Muslims for not accepting Islam is I'm not joining no Arab religion. So without further ado, let's take a look at the clip.
Yeah, without a further ado. Without what? Further ado. Take a note, please. Are you ready? Without further ado.
And then I will share my thoughts, inshallah.
What's the movement? I was raised in one of those mosques. You understand? But I had to walk away because I saw how we completely ignored black people's problems. We completely ignored black culture. We completely ignored the black reality. It was all Islam. Learn your Arabic. And I'm like, I'm a practicing Arab. I'm not practicing Islam. I'm practicing Arabism. Why do I got to learn Arab language to worship God? Why do I got to eat like the Arab to worship God? Why do I got to dress like the Arab to worship God? This is not the worship of God. This is the deification of Arabic culture.
Exactly. Not only that, you forgot. Why you have to piss like Arab? Why you have to shit like Arab? Not only because I can show you, you have to do exactly what the Arab do. Even when you do shit, even your toilet seat, even when you sit, even when you stand, even when you shake your penis. I don't know if you shake it or not. In case you do, I don't know. Just in case, I like this new toy, What the heck is this? I'm going to stop. I'm using this program for the last, I don't know, year, and I never saw those things. Hey! So why I have to talk like Arab? Why you have to dress like Arab? Why you have to pray like the Arab? Is this the religion of the Arab? Yes, it is. In fact, all of you who those convert to Islam are a slave of the Arab. But let us see what this potato.
And that's why I walked away from it.
What this potato, what his name, Sajid. Even Sajid, he changed his name to Sajid. His name is not You have to change your name. You have to be an Arabic name. You have to be an Arab name. That's it. We Christian, we can have Arab names, but we don't have to use Hebrew names. No, we don't. We don't have to use Greek names. And we are Christians. We don't. You can have your own name. And still you follow Jesus. And you can pray to God in your language. You are black, African, from the Zulu, from any tribe in Africa. Who care? Jesus hear you. Jesus listen to you. Jesus know you. Your color does not count. Your language doesn't count. What count is who you are, what you believe. So this guy, he will try to explain to us the madness and the stupidity and the racism of Islam.
Rasulillah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome all viewers. Today I received a message from a brother about a video clip that went viral. Dr. Omar explains why he left Islam. Why do I need to learn the Arab language to worship God? So brother, he sent me this video with the message, assalamu alaikum. I think a video on this topic would be beneficial because me personally, one of the most common rejections I get from non-Muslims for not accepting Islam is I'm not joining no Arab religion. So without further ado, let's take a look at the clip and then I will share my thoughts, inshallah.
What's the movement? I was raised in one of those mosques. You understand? But I had to walk away because I saw how we completely ignored black people's problems. We completely ignored black culture. We completely ignored the black reality. It was all Islam. Learn your Arabic. And I'm like, I'm a practicing Arab. I'm not practicing Islam.
Exactly.
I'm practicing Arabism. Why do I got to learn Arab language to worship God? Why do I got to eat like the Arab to worship God? Why do I got to dress like the Arab to worship God? This is not the worship of God. This is the deification of Arabic culture.
Exactly.
And that's why I walked away from it. And now African spirituality is my foundation.
So it's very unfortunate that he decided to leave Islam, and it sounds like he had a negative experience. I can't speak on the specific history that he went through or the community that he comes from. However, I'm just going to share some thoughts and some facts about Islam. So while Muslims and people within the Muslim community might fall short of its teachings, or rather I should say definitely fall short of its teachings,
Definitely.
Islam itself doesn't actually teach some of the things that he had an issue with in his video. So the first...
Really? Islam doesn't teach that? Really? You know, Sajid, you are the biggest scam ever I saw in the internet. I mean, you are so little, nobody watches your videos. I'm trying to help you, by the way. Listen, Potato. If you are a man, a son of a man, not a son of a lesbian, I challenge you to accept to debate me. Is that fair, guys? Do this raccoon dare to let me call. I will call you. I'm very humble, you know. I don't want your majesty to call me. I will call you. Do you dare, you raccoon, to let me call you and we can talk about the very topic or talk, by the way, any topic, no matter, you know, doesn't matter. Just hit me. I mean, just give me any question you want. I will make you shish kebab. So in Islam, this guy don't understand Islam, or you understand Islam, right? Okay, tell us, go ahead.
First thing that he said was,
we completely ignored black people's problems. We completely ignored black culture. We completely ignored the black reality.
so not only does the religion of Islam not teach us to ignore, as he put it, black people's problems, but if anything, Islam teaches us to actually help people overcome their problems.
Really? Like what? Like what? Bring in the black people with the chain around their neck? Let us see how Islam help people. All right, all right. Uh-huh. Listen carefully. Islam help people. You want to see how Islam help people? Are you ready? Do you feel the heat? You Arab, you are the best people ever raised for the benefit of mankind. By the way, I'm an Arab, in case you do not know. I mean, when I walk on the street, seriously, I drop benefit. People walk behind me and collect benefit. Even there's many people in my town, they don't even ask for welfare no more. They go just walk behind me. Because when we walk as Arab, we drop benefit. Actually, we don't even drop shit. We drop benefit. Like, I wish one day I will go to the bathroom and just drop one shit. No way. It's just benefit. Don't ask me for witnesses. That is the last thing an Arab person can do. So, you are the best people ever raised up for the benefit of mankind. Quran chapter 3 verse 110. The best for mankind are those who bring them with the chain around their necks. Who was catching the black slave who they were free human beings who they are free, catching them and putting them in chains and selling them in Morocco. Who? The Muslims. The biggest slavery market was in Morocco. In fact, until now, Morocco's slavery never over. It's not over yet. You can go and read about the history of the slaves. The Arab, the white Arab, the North African Arab, they go for a hunt and they capture the black people from the heart of Africa. And then they bring them to Tunisia, Morocco, Libya. And then they sell them to the Arab man. That is the reality. There was a city in Iraq, actually it still exists, it's called Al-Basra. If you search for the revolution of Zinj, you will know what I'm talking about. The Arab, they took hundreds of thousands of African from their homeland all the way to Iraq just to be their slaves. The men, they work in farming. The women, if they are pretty, they are for sex. If they are not, they are just for kitchen, for whatever. So they brought all of those and they forced them even to convert to Islam. So now they are Muslims. Those slaves are Muslims. But they will not let them free because Islam, Muhammad himself, Bilal, he converted to Islam, but he did not let him go free. And then those black people, they revolt. And they became massive in size, hundreds of thousands. All this area become their area. The Arab, they drop them here to do farming. They don't allow them even to mix in their cities. So they live by themselves and they have one business to do, is just to do farming. I have a video of rain. I'm looking for the remote control to stop the video. Do you guys hear the rain sound? I like to hear the rain, you know, I like rain. I don't know where is the remote control. Where is the remote control? So Islam is for the benefit of mankind, as you know. And this is why the Muslims, they have books. As an example, a book, it's called Muwatta Malik. It's full of issues with the slaves, how to touch her vagina, how to check her. Aisha, she used to force girls to walk in the street. She decorate them so she can hunt young men. Umar, he did beat women who they are slaves because she tried to cover her head. He said to her, you are trying to act like someone is free? Are you trying to dress like someone free? He beat her. They used to force women to walk showing their boobs to serve food and fruits and coffee or whatever drink. And then this potato, he is saying people do not know the benefit of Islam. If we go right now here and we type the word Jariya, Let us see what we will find. Oh boy. Oh boy. Do you see what we see in front of us? In fact, Muhammad, he said, if a slave man he marry without permission of his master, he should be punished. Let me show you the hadith. The benefit of Islam. There is a hadith actually. It says that if a man he did that, if a slave, a black slave, he did that, he is a whore. The black slave who do that, he is a whore. He must be killed. Read it. Do you see it? Do you see it, Abdul? What is the crime this person he did? He did marry. He did not sleep around. He did marry without the permission of his master. And don't read the da'if one. They will say to you, da'if. I'm not going to show you the da'if. I will show you the one which is true, which is authentic. Same for a woman, as you see here. Same for a woman. Same for a man. The filthy prophet said, if any slaves marry without permission of his master, he is a fornicator, which means he should be punished as a fornicator. What is his crime? He married this black man. He got married. He did not ask his master if it's okay. So Muhammad for sure, and we can show you tons of things about, about how amazing Muhammad is. I mean, come on. Who in the world can say Muhammad did not bring a lot of benefit for black people? Who in the world can say that? You must be stupid to say that. I mean, come on. Isn't it obvious? Huh? Let me see if I can find you this hadith. There's a million hadith actually. Let us see. Maybe we cannot find it in English here. Yeah. So this monkey, I mean, we can show you the Quran. The Quran says, it's forbidden for you married women, but if you have a slave girl, you can rape her. All right? It's forbidden for you to sleep with married women, except the slaves. The Muslims, they say those are captive from war. What about Mary the Copt? She was not captive of war. She was a gift given to Muhammad from Egypt. Muhammad received tons of slaves as gifts, like Amazon. Did he say no? No, he did rape the girl. She brought with her sister and her cousins. The whole family brought as slaves. Muhammad took them all. He was raping her too. Can this woman, she say no? For sure not. And then they want to convince a black man that Islam have a benefit for the black people, for mankind, not only black people.
Ignore the black reality.
So not only does the religion of Islam not teach us to ignore, as he put it, black people's problems, but if anything, Islam teaches us to actually help people overcome their problems.
Sure.
And the only reason I'm even mentioning the word black people is because this is what he's mentioning, because Islam doesn't differentiate between
Islam does not differentiate. So what this verse in the Quran? Abdul? Mr. Shapanzi? Is that in your Quran? Oh, who you believe? In the case of murder. Okay. What it's prescribed for you. In the case of murder. White man for a white man. Black man for a black man. What does that mean? If a white man is killed, we will kill the white man. If the white man killed a black man, we kill his black man. We kill his slave. Female for the female. Look at the wisdom. Look at this wisdom. Prophet Muhammad is the most wise dumb ever. Abdul, he might say I'm lying. It doesn't say that, CP. Shall we show you the interpretation, you potato monkey? Chapter 2, 178. All right. We need the other website. Hold on. You see, Islam, Islam does not. Islam have a solution for every problem. What are you talking about? This is the official government website of the scumbag, the King of Jordan. No, this is not what we want. What is this? Hold on. English. Tafsir. All right. Now, chapter 2, 178. Let us show this potato how small he is. This is Tafsir al-Jalalain, and this is the website of the 4-foot king. O who you believe, prescribe made obligatory for you is retaliation on equal term regarding the slain, both in the attributes of the one slain and the action involved. A free man, read carefully, Abdul, Mr. Islam benefit, huh? A free man is killed for a free man, not for a slave. And a slave for a slave, and female for a female. The Arab, they start laughing at Muhammad, at his so-called justice. The stupid Muhammad, he is claiming that this came from Allah. But when the Arab, they start laughing at him, later he changed his mind. He became the joke of everybody. What kind of justice this justice is? So you kill my wife, I kill your wife. What about kill the guy who killed the wife? What do you mean female for female? So I killed the wife of the neighbor killed my wife now? So now we have two dead women, have nothing to do, they are victims? Have you ever heard of a stupid religion like this? And then this monkey, he wanna say to you, oh, Islam have benefit for everybody. Don't you know? You have no idea. Mean. What about I kill your wife, you kill my mother-in-law? I mean, that will be better. What do you think, guys? You know, this makes sense, huh? Here we go. That will make many Arab happy. Kill his mother-in-law. He want to get rid of her. All right? So if a white Arab man killed, we killed a white Arab man, not a slave. But if a white Arab man kill a slave, we will not kill the white Arab man for killing a slave. We will kill the slave of the guy who owned that slave. Or any of his slaves. So you killed my slave, okay, now it's time for me to revenge. I killed one of your slaves. So now we have two poor black people killed just because two fat Arab boys are fighting. And this monkey, this is squirrel, is, look at this face. Islam is for the benefit of everybody. Sure, what we're talking about, you know. Well, you know, it's obvious.
Islam doesn't differentiate between
it doesn't.
people based on their color.
Absolutely.
The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, explicitly stated this in his quote where he said, there's no superiority of an Arab over a non-Arab, or a non-Arab over an Arab, nor a white person over a black person, nor a black person over a white person.
Is that a Sahih hadith? This is a hadith, the Muslim, they brought it from the middle of nowhere, and now they will say to you it's a Sahih. That cannot be true. Because Muhammad himself, he made it clear that the Arab are superior. The Arab are superior. Let me get you busted when Muslims lie. Give me a second, we will dial in. يا Abdul بتيت Abdul. يبني كده لك. I will make you the joke of everybody. All right. Let me look for the hadith. In fact, I have a video. I can play it actually. But it is not to play a video. It is because in Arabic. Let us get you busted, potato. Come on, internet. There is a problem to open it. No problem. Let us see. All right. Let us show this monkey his size. Actually, this is the same, if you remember, this guy is Sneeko, the monkey Sneeko. He was talking to the monkey Asim al-Hakim. And Asim al-Hakim, he told him, yes, yeah, the Arab, they are superior. What the problem? Yeah. Let me see if I can find the hadith here. If not, we will find a different one. Okay, let us see this one. This one should be in this website. Here we go. Those are the elite for Allah. Do we see any black people there? No. Allah Messenger said, Allah chose Kinana from the descendant of Ishmael. By the way, Kinana have nothing to do with Ishmael. But anyway, he chose Quraysh from Kinana. Okay. And from Quraysh, he chosen the family of Hashim. And he chosen me from Hashim. Other version of the hadith, Allah chosen Ishmael from among the children of Abraham, and he chosen Kinana from among the children of etc. Ishmael, and then he chose Muhammad. There's other hadith where it says Allah chosen the Arab from all mankind. And the hadith this guy is quoting for us is a fraud as usual. And I will show you. Let us see. I have the hadith in front of me actually. I'm just trying to find an official website so the Muslim will not say I'm making things up. Let us see. All right, maybe this one is better. This is As-Sirah Nabawiyah. Let us put it in the screen. Why they are not opening? It open in the other browser, maybe extra security. It's not working here. All right, let us see then other one. I'm not sure why it's not coming. Finally. Finally. Yeah, open, come on. What? The site could not be reached? Potato. Okay, forget. Man, every site I'm clicking is 404. What the heck? Potato. Like, did I lose my internet? You guys, my internet is working? What's happening with those things? All right. Read with me carefully. So this is the book of As-Sirah Nabawiyya, the biography of Muhammad and the Dawah during the time of the Prophet was in Mecca. When I say the Prophet, I mean the false Prophet Muhammad.
The book of the Prophet's biography and call in the Meccan era.
This is page number 129. We go down here. Actually, all the pages about Allah He chosen, Allah He chosen, from, Allah He chosen, the Arab. But look here, this is very clear one. Actually, the start here is very funny, showing you how stupid Muhammad is.
On the authority of Ibn Omar, he said, the messenger of God, may God bless him and grant him peace, said, God created creation and chose from among creation the children of Adam.
There's other creation beside Adam at that time. Like who, the donkey? I mean, do you see the stupidity of this man Muhammad? So Allah now, He chosen Adam, children's? Why there's other children's? Like what? Trump children's? There's only one guy. Anyway, Muhammad making poo-poo. Continue, Muhammad. Then Allah He chosen the Arab from the children of Adam right away.
And He chose the Arabs from among the children of Adam. And He chose Mudir from among the Arabs. And He chose Quraysh from Mudir. And He chose.
And He chose. And then He chose from Quraysh, His family. And then He chose me, and I am the best of the best. Look how humble Muhammad is.
From the Quraysh of Banu Hashim. And He chose me from Banu Hashim. So I am from the best to the best to the best.
See, Muhammad is not racist. Muhammad is not racist. Now, if we ask this potato about the hadith he just mentioned, what is the reference for this hadith? Is that in al-Bukhari? You see, the Muslims, when we show them, something, they say, I accept only al-Bukhari. I accept only, I accept only. This is da'if, okay. What are you reading for us? Huh? Abdul. If we go and search for this hadith, let me show you. You will find this hadith appear once, and it is not exist in any authentic book. But the Muslim will say it is Sahih today because it served their propaganda. And if this hadith is Sahih, that means Muhammad was lying. Because Muhammad, he said it clearly, the Arab are the best of mankind, and then Quraysh are the best of the best, and he is from the best of the best of the best. This is the hadith you are talking about. Is that al-Bukhari? No. Is that Sahih Muslim? No. Who is the one who wrote this? People you never heard of. Do you remember yesterday the guy who says to me, oh, don't give me something except to be correct by Al-Albani? Here we go. But we can't find it in Al-Bukhari. If there is a Muslim can fight Al-Bukhari, let me know. Can we fight in Sahih Muslim? The exact same hadith. So they lie and they say Prophet Muhammad says there is no difference. If there is no difference, so why you have to pray in Arabic? And why you have to dress in Arabic? And why you have to eat like Arab? And why your name should be in Arabic? As long there is no difference. As long the best of you is the one who is more close to Allah. So why I cannot be close to Allah by speaking my language? Why you monkey change your name to an Arabic name? Why when you started in the beginning you start speaking Arabic even though you are not an Arab? Is that you?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome all viewers. Today I received...
Did you see? Everybody is equal. Why you are talking in Arabic? Why you are saying the greeting which is not your greeting? It's like saying shalom, salam. No, he is the whole like a presentation or in Arabic. When he pray to Allah, have to pray in Arabic. Hypocrite, liar. So the guy, he left Islam because he noticed that this is a scam. This is the religion of the Arab. It's obvious.
Except in piety. So the only thing that makes one person better than another person is their piety, their righteousness. And this is something that we find repeated in the Quran and the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad.
Show us in the Quran, show us, go ahead.
Peace be upon him. For example, in the Quran, Allah tells us, O mankind, indeed we have created you from a male and a female, and made you peoples and tribes that you may know one another. Indeed, the most noble of you in the sight of Allah is the most righteous of you. Indeed, Allah is knowing and aware. The Prophet...
Allah was talking to who? To the Arab, the white Arab. This verse, you see, just to show you how stupid you are. I will type the word favored you. Did Allah made all people in the earth equal, or Allah favor people upon other people? Let's read. This is Allah the Zionist. Chapter 2, verse number 47. O children of Israel, remember my favor which I bestowed upon you, and I preferred you from all mankind and even genie. The Muslim, they add for a period of time. That's false. Nowhere it says period of time. That's additional. So how we can make the verse you just quote for us fit with this verse? Do Allah favor people above people or not? And why Allah favor the Jews? Don't Allah knew the future that those are the enemies of Islam? Isn't it your God? He says the worst enemy to Allah is the Jews. The worst enemy to the believers are the Jews. Why Allah favor the Jews? If we continue, even Allah, He favor prophet over prophets. There's messengers we prefer. They are higher than other messengers. Why? How what you just read for us in your stupid video fit with the Quran saying that even messengers, Allah, He have favor, He have less favored, and there is less, they are at the end of the list. So is it true the most close to Allah is the one who is a believer? False. Look what your God, He himself, He described people. All of this is about favor, favor, favor. All the Quran is about favor. When we speak about the Jews, you will see right away Allah, He turned into Zionist mood. Immediately. Look at this one. Allah, He favor Ishmael and Al-Yasa. We do not know, by the way, who is Al-Yasa. The Muslim, they say Elisha, but this is not true. And Yunus, we do not know who is Yunus. They say Yunus, Jonah, but this is not true. This is what they say. Why Allah, how Allah chosen those, how a verse ago Allah said He chosen the children of Israel, a verse after saying the opposite. And why He chosen, why He favored those upon all mankind? And where is Abraham? And then He continues saying, and also some of their fathers and their progeny. So is the believers are equal in the sight of Allah? The Quran says no. And there is a hadith, we will go to it later, where Allah speak about why He created the black people.
Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, also taught us that indeed Allah does not look at your outer appearances or your wealth, but rather He looks at your hearts and your...
He is speaking to the white Arab. Let us see what your prophet says to the appearance of the black and the Asian. Muhammad, he used to give the black a command in the war, because the black, they have physically, they are fit for war, and they are slaves. What they will lose, you know, he will lose a slave, he will not lose his son or his daughter or anything, so they put him in the front. So Muhammad, he made Bilal, his slave, a command of a group of white boys. Let us see. Here we go. This is very authentic. Anas reported Allah Messenger saying, listen and obey, and even if Abyssinian slave with a head like a raisin head is made governor over you. How Muhammad see black people? They are raising head. كان رأسه زبيبة. Is Muhammad making fun of the black people look? Or all Allah don't look at your look? Allah don't care for your look, by the way. But you are a raisin head. What about Muhammad is speaking about how black people and why they are created? Let us see why Allah created the black people. Shoulder. All right. This one is available in English, but not the whole version of it actually. Give me a second. Abu Darda reported that the filthy Muhammad saying, Allah created Adam when he created him and struck his right shoulder and brought forth his offspring white like small ants, and he struck his left shoulder and he brought forth his offspring black as though they were charcoal. Then he said to the party from his right side, which means the white people, to paradise, and I don't care. And then he said to the party of his left shoulder, to hell, and I don't care. Who is the one is born of the left shoulder? The black people. What Allah said to them, since He created them, you go to hell, and I don't care. Those who they are black like charcoal, they are made from the left shoulder of Adam. Remember, in Islam, the left shoulder mean they are bad. They are created bad. Allah forbid Muslim to eat with the left hand. Why? Because this is the hand of sin. This is the hand of shaitan. So Muhammad is saying that the black people are created from the hand of shaitan. This is why he's saying to them, you go to hell, and I don't care. And then they say to you, Islam don't differentiate between you being black or not. How truthful those people are. What about the Asian? How Allah and how Prophet of Allah look at the Asian? According to Muhammad, the Asian is the enemy of Allah. And the judgment day will not happen until the Muslim kill the Asian. This is al-Bukhari, so they cannot say it's not true. Muhammad is said the hour will not be established till you fight people with wearing shoes made of hair, and the hour will not be established till you fight with people whose their face look like shield coated with leather, making fun of the look of the Asian people. They will be small-eyed, flat-nosed, and their faces will look like a shield coated with leather. So Muhammad, the false Muhammad, this, by the way, this is a proof Muhammad is a false prophet. The biggest Muslim country in the world today is Indonesia. Orang. So the stupid Muhammad never thought that the biggest nation who will convert to Islam will be the Muslim Indonesians. And this is why he's saying that before the day of judgment you will fight the Asian people. This is a sign of the hour. This is the sign of what? The hour. Let's listen carefully. This is not something will happen 10 years, like this is the hour. When the hour will happen, the hour will not establish unless you fight them. Kill them. Like what Muhammad meant by saying fight them, kill them. And when the hour will come, the Muslim will be victorious. And look how Muhammad is speaking about the Asian people. In fact, the Muslim believe, and Muhammad believe, that the Turkish are Gog and Magog. The Turkish are Gog and Magog. And this is again very authentic, as you see. All right. Let the Abyssinian alone as long they let you alone, and leave the Turks alone as long they leave you alone. Why Muhammad he said that? Because he was fearing that the Arab, they are no match for the Abyssinian if they go to war with them, and he was fearing that those Turkish who they are Gog and Magog, they will demolish the Muslims. Somebody might say, well, Christian Prince is making things up. Where it says that the Turkish are Gog and Magog? Let us see. Let us see. This is the Quran, and this is the chapter, the cave chapter, the fiction chapter. Muhammad, he always make poo-poo, and we are very lucky that Muhammad never shut his mouth. He was like a hole never closed. So Muhammad made it clear. Again, this is the chapter of Al-Kahf, and we are reading from verse number 90, 93, 94, etc., 97. And this is the interpretation here of verse number 94. Tafsir al-Baghawi, as you see even in English in the front of your eyes. Where it speak about the Turkish. Read carefully. The Turkish are a group of the people of Gog and Magog. And Zulqarnain, he built a dam between us and them, but the Turkish, they were at that time out for hunt, so they were left out.
The Turks were a secret group from Gog and Magog. They went out and Dhul Qarnayn struck the dam, so they remained outside it. All the Turks were among them.
So the Turkish are Gog and Magog, and they are the evil enemy of Allah. But when Zulqarnain, he built the dam, this tribe was away for a hunt. So this is why they are not jailed behind the dam. And here it says the Turkish are 22 tribe, And Zulqarnain, he built a dam for 21 tribe of them. There's only one tribe left. Those are called a Turk, which mean in Arabic they are left out.
They are 22 tribes. Dhul Qarnayn built the dam on 21 tribes, so only one tribe remained. They are the Turks. They were called Turks because they were left outside.
So the Arab even trying to find out why they are called Turk. In Arabic, Turk or Taraka mean left out. Like, I left my car, I left my phone. Tarak. So the stupid Abdul now, Mohammed, trying to explain why their name like that, which is absolutely, this is false. What the word Turk have to do with this? Very stupid. But what do you expect? Prophet of Allah, he make poo-poo. So there are 22 tribes, and Zulqarnain, he built a dam. Behind the dam he put 21 tribe only. There was one tribe was out for a hunt, and this is why they are not behind the dam. This is why they are called the Turkish, because they are left out. The Deen show is the same. They try to find out why this guy he left Islam.
Quite well. We'll get to that part, but let's talk about Umar Johnson. Have you heard of Umar Johnson?
I heard of him, and I heard about what he said and what he did, and just for a brief observation, you know, the reasons that I heard that he said he left Islam was not really fair to the majority of the way Islam is practiced, especially in America. You know, it's unfortunate that the particular masjid that he was attached to did.
There is different Islam in America. Yeah, I mean in America you do whatever you wish. There's a freedom. Look what he's wearing. And by the way, why your beard became red? What is that? You see, he is coming to say you do not need to do what the Arab do. This potato, they brought him to say, because he's a black, they want to use the black people, you know, they use the black people to fool the black people. Why your beard like this? You want to be redhead? Are you trying to be blonde? So listen carefully. He is saying other mosques, maybe they are wrong. Unfortunately, they are telling him those things. But look at you. You are doing exactly what Muhammad did, the Arab man who want to be a redhead. Why your beard? I mean, what kind of ugly beard this beard is? It's not even blonde. Like, where do you get the color from? From the desert of Arizona? The Arab man Muhammad, he color his beard like this. All the Abdul, they color their beard. So look at you. Secondly, what this clothes you are wearing? This is not Arabian clothes. Do you know what Muhammad said about those people who wear clothes not like the Arab? I will show you later. Continue.
Put too much emphasis on dress style, clothing style, you know, and the reason for the Arabic. You know, there's very few masajid in America that put emphasis on learning Arabic as a language.
Really? Aha. So how you pray to Allah?
No matter what country that you go to where they're Muslims, whether it's in China, Russia, Japan, you know, South Africa, it doesn't matter. Whatever country you go to, the Muslims pray. They offer their formal prayers, their obligatory prayers in Arabic.
Why? Like, why? So if somebody is from Ghana, Why I need to pray in the language of Ghana if I am not from Ghana? Why does God don't listen to me in my language? Because simply this is the slavery of the Arab. They are enslaving you. They kidnap you, they capture you, they rape you when you were black in Africa, and now they are trying to rape you and capture you and enslave you in America. So you dress like them. You talk to look at your beard. You want to pray to Allah, you have to talk our language. You have to say our God is an Arab God. Can't your God listen to you if you speak in your African language? No, he cannot. Do you know what Muhammad said for people like you? Dressed like you, because simply you are dressing like an African, not like an Arab. He says the one who do like this, proud about his heritage, tell him to go and bite the penis of his father. What? Tell him to go and bite the penis of his father. So this guy in the video was complaining about
Is the deed for
why I wanna everything is Arab. This is Arab. There's no, what is my culture? Where is my culture? He said.
walk away. Because I saw how we completely ignored black people's problems. We completely ignored black culture. We completely ignored.
This guy, he like a black culture. I mean, why not? He's black. Do you know what Muhammad said? If you like a black culture, which is not Islamic culture anyway, go and bite the penis of your father. Are we lying? And this is Sahih. The Prophet, peace be upon him, say, whomever attribute himself in the lineage with the attribution of the Jahiliyyah, which means before Islam, then tell him to bite his father penis. So they are trying to say to him, no, you are wrong. Islam allow you to be proud about your culture. Who said Islam don't care for you as a black? When Muhammad make it, Umar al-Khattab, he says, go and suck the clitoris of Allah. What? Go and suck the clitoris of Allah. So Muhammad, he is in charge of biting penises. Umar is in charge of sucking clitoris. What a nice religion. What a wonderful religion. Let us see where is the hadith. Go and suck the clitoris of Allah. Where is the hadith? Come on. Come on. Badr Allah. Let us see. Here we go. We need to find it here now. I'm not sure what the English word they use. We need to read it all. But this is Umsus Badr Allah. Suck the clitoris of Allah.
Suck the clitoris of Allah.
So Muhammad, I mean, very nice religion. The Prophet is so amazing person. Go and bite the penis of your father. Umar, go and suck the clitoris. If you are proud about your heritage before Islam, about your culture, if you wear their clothes, go and bite the penis of your father. And those potatoes, they say to us, no, in Islam, sadly, some mosques, they say that, but it's not true. Muhammad, he said, the one who dressed like them, which mean the Christians and the Jews, he is one of them. He is not a Muslim no more. And both of you in the Deen show are dressed not like the Arab. According to Muhammad, both of you are false Muslims. Are we lying? Read it. Read it. Read it. If you're dressed like them, you are one of them. Talking about what? Specifically, the Christians and the Jews. The way they dress, the way they eat, even their language. You are one of them. This guy is wearing a suit. This potato, the other potato. Look at him. Scumbag. He will never dare to debate me. Not even for a second. He knew that he will be history. He knew what will happen. So the second you dress like the Christian, you act like the Christians, you are one of the Christians, you are an apostate. They lie. So I'm glad that this guy, Umar, he found his way out of this garbage. This is a very filthy, racist, white supremacist cult. And by the way, I'm an Arab.
Inshallah.
And there is no racist in the world against black people as the Arab. You will never find. In fact, you go and find me one Arab man, one, just one. He married a black woman. If that happened, maybe to get his green card, as soon he got the green card, he will dump her. Go watch the videos of Mimi Hijab and Blue Job and Ali Dawah talking about the white wife of this guy, a friendly ex-Muslim. Anyone watch the video talking about the white wife? All the Muslims talking about his white wife, you know. He left Islam because of the white wife. They are obsessed with the white wife. That's why the Quran make it clear that there's no black people can enter heaven. Allah will make all non-believers black and all believers shiny white. Chapter 3, verse 106. On the day of resurrection, when some faces will become white and some faces will become black, the Muslims, they try to fix it. They say, no, this is metaphorically. Metaphorically. Okay, hold on. What metaphorically? We can go and read chapter 27, verse number 82. Shall we? And we can check it out from Ibn Kathir. Shall we? Where is Ibn Kathir? Here we go. This is Ibn Kathir. Is Allah going to make you white physically or metaphorically? We will find out in a second. Try not to laugh. Again, this is chapter 3, verse 106, as you see. Watch with me on the screen if we are making things up. If we go down, we will see this. So there is a beast will come from the ground, and this beast is called, the Muslim, they have different names for it. This beast is going to come with the staff of Moses and the ring of Solomon. As we read here, when some faces will become white and some faces will become black. What is this about? Those who reject Islam, Allah will make them black. Those who accept Islam, Allah will make them white. And then we see here more explanation for this story. Those who will be or become black, they will be the dogs of the fire. And by the way, if somebody is black already, Allah will make him black? Yes. He will make him very dark black. Extreme black. What about the man who is white? Allah will make him extreme white. No problem. Let us see where it says beast. Beast. Where is the beast? Where is the story of the beast? I hope they did not take it. Oh, hold on. You see? I need to open different verse. This is why we did not see. I opened chapter 3, but we want to go to chapter 27. This is why the story is not here. It's my fault. We go to verse number 82. And now we should find it. So this beast will come from the ground, and this beast have a very strange description. It's a cocktail of many animals, you know. This beast will come from the ground, will speak Arabic. Again, even the beast speak Arabic. So the beast will emerge from the earth, and will be, with it will be the staff of Moses. Look like Moses, he sold his staff in auction. And the ring of Solomon, sure, we need the ring of Solomon, come on, man, the magical ring. Peace be upon him, both. It will strike the nose of this believer with the staff. It will make the face of the believer bright with the ring. Here in translation, they say to you bright, false. In Arabic, it says white, but extreme, shiny white. We will find out very soon. With the ring, and then when the people gather to eat, they will recognize each other. They will say, oh believer, oh disbeliever. How they knew each other? By the color. So all believers are white. All disbelievers are black. Pure black. Not just a black. Here the story is repeated again with more explanation. And this is the description of the beast, which is very funny and very stupid. It have the head of a bull, the eyes like the eyes of a pig, the ears like the ears of an elephant, the horn is like the horn of etc. And if somebody knows something from the Bible, you will find something similar. Anyone remember? There's a place in the Bible describes something not far. Muhammad is copying something, mixing it with something else. I will leave you to remember it. And the neck like the neck of the ostrich, and the chest is like the chest of a lion. Its color like the color of a tiger, its haunches like the haunches of a cat. Meow. Its tail like the tail of a ram, its legs like the legs of a camel, between each pair of joint distance of 12 cubits. Look how huge. Man, this is massive. It will bring with it the staff of Moses and the ring of Solomon. There will be no believer left without making white spot in his face, which is going to spread until his face shiny white. See now? White spot in his face, until his face became shining white. Not only white, shining white. Like extra white. Extraordinary white. As a result, there will be no disbeliever left without making a black spot in his face, which will spread until his face is black as a result. And then those cowards, they're trying to show the smart man who left Islam that he's wrong. Islam is not racist. So Allah, He made the black people, and He said to them, you go to hell and I don't care. In fact, we have to connect the two stories together. Anyone knows what I'm saying? What we will connect together? Somebody give me what we will connect. Here Muhammad speaking that he created the children of Adam white and black. By the way, what happened to the Asian? Do you see how stupid Muhammad is? Is the Asian is alien? Yes. Because for him, the Asian are Gog and Magog. Those are not a human. The Asian are not a human according to Muhammad. There's only two branches of humanity. White and black. Asian are Gog and Magog. So, the white, who they are the Arab, they will go to heaven and I don't care. The black, they will go to hell and I don't care. The white are created from the right hand, which means everything they do is right. The black people are created from the left shoulder, which means everything they do is wrong. You remember the video we played of Sheikh Asim speaking about Allah have two right hands? Why Allah don't have left hand? Because left hand is the hand of Shaitan, is the hand of the black people according to Muhammad. You see it? Both Allah hands are right hands. Allah have two hands. Both of them are right hands. So when Muhammad he make it clear that the black are created from the left hand, and then he said to them, you go to hell and I don't care, and the white are created from the right shoulder, and you go to heaven, I don't care. And then in the day of judgment, Allah will make everybody as He created him from the first day. Those who they're going to go to hell are black. Circle. Are you getting the point? I ask you to connect the dots. See, when I said to you, not just a black, because you're black already, so what will happen? No. He will make you like a circle. He made you black, yes. But He will bring you to your origin and He will make you like circle. And this is why chapter 27 verse number 82 is speaking about shiny white and dark black. Are we connecting the dot together? So Islam not only racist against black, Islam is against Asian, and we the Arab are the most racist people ever. Guys, if you sit between the Arab, you will never believe it how racist they are. Like, you know, forget about those things like in TV, and God, he made everybody equal, you know. Just sit between them, just be one of them, and you will hear what you will hear. I remember when I was a kid, they were talking about America, any news in America. The news women in the TV, she is a black woman. They say she brought a black news like her face. The same they said about what her name, Condoleezza Rice. She was the foreign minister of George Bush. The same. I mean, this is in TV. This is not. This is the government TV. If you search right now about racism against the black in Morocco, in Tunisia, in Libya, you will not believe it. Let me do that. Racism against the black in Morocco. A person, he married a black woman, a Moroccan man. I mean, every TV station speak about him. How he do that? The whole society. Guys, how many times I say to you that the word the abd is meant to be abused? So when the Muslim, by the way, when they say he is Abdullah, he is now humbling himself to make himself equal to a black person only in front of Allah. This is what abd mean. Slave. Black slave. Do you know what the Arab in their poetry they say? Let me show you. And remember, I'm not here to insult black people. I'm here to expose Islam. We are Christians. We believe. Jesus said it clearly. The Bible says it clearly. For God, he loved the world. He sent his only begotten son. There's no Greek, there's no Hebrew. At that time, if you are a Greek, you are the top. If you are a Hebrew, you claim you are the chosen one. If you are a Roman, you are the most powerful citizen. So there is no black, there's no Greek, there's no Hebrew, there's no free, there's no slave. For all in Jesus are one. All in Jesus is one. I mean to that. We are here to share with our brothers and sisters, African ones, who we love them very much. And I believe they have a duty today to carry the message of Jesus to the white man, because the white man, sadly, the European man, became a bunch of junk. We need the black warriors. We need our brothers and sisters, the black in Africa, to be the warriors for Christ. We need you. Join us in the crusade. We have the hippie in Africa. Those are the white people. They are coming now, trying to make you hippie like them. Don't follow them. One day, you listen to the white man teaching you the word of God. Today, it's your duty to teach the hippie white man that he have to repent, rebuke him, and bring him back to God. One of the most famous poetry the Arab are proud about. I am translating to show you how evil this religion is and how racist the Arab are. What happened? All right. Where is the... Maybe this website doesn't have the whole poetry. Okay, forget. Let me find the front place. Guys, look at this article. This is an article written by Muslims. Saying that the poetry of Al-Mutanabbi said the truth. Let me translate for you the page. The one who wrote the article, his name is Abu Mazen. I cannot highlight. Oh, too bad. You can use your phone. For some reason, I cannot highlight the text. I think they have a script here. It says here, لا تشتري العبد إلا والعصا معه إن العبيد لأنجاس مناكير. I want to find the website where I can highlight and translate. The poetry is saying when you buy a slave, black slave, buy a wooden bar with him, which means to beat him. And the rest I want to translate. I will let Google translate it. Very offensive. Each time we open a website, it's full of commercial, and why we cannot open it? Just to show you how the Arab look at you. Okay, I found it in a dictionary. I'm trying to open the dictionary, but it's not opening. This is the Muslim website. Very well-known website from Qatar. islamweb.net. الآداب الشرعية والمنح المرعية. This is the name of the book.
Islamic etiquette and established grants.
Look what they are saying about the black people.
If you humiliate slaves, they will be righteous in humiliation, but if you honor them, they will be corrupt.
Do you hear? Do you hear, people? if you humiliate a black person, this is the only way to make him good, to make him behave. If you honor them, they will turn bad, which means they will hurt you.
Do not buy a slave unless he has a stick with him. Slaves are filthy and mischievous.
The word here is not slave. This is again black. Again, this is not slave. This is about the black. So when you buy a black person, don't buy him unless you bought the stick with him, like the stick before him. Do you see it? And why you need to buy the slave with the stick and this black slave is a black? Because it is filthy and mischievous.
If the master decides to serve his servant, he will commit a sin against him, even if it is not a sin.
Do you remember what Jesus did to his disciple? He washed their feet, and he said, if you don't let me do it, you don't belong to me. When Muhammad said, a black man, a black slave, who marries without permission of his master, he is a whore. Why he said that? Because this is how they look at you. You are just nobody. Any black slave who marries, you see the word here, abd, abd. Black slave. Any slave black who marries without his master permission, he is a whore. Not fornicator, this is false translation. عاهر فهو عاهر. Frazzle, is that correct translation? Should be whore. Is a frazzle is the same? I don't know what there's no translation actually. Maybe I did not highlight the word correctly. Hold on. Maybe yeah, there's one letter is missing. Okay, now. Yeah, false translation. It's not adulterer. It is a whore. Ahir. Ahira in Arabic, a whore. Ahir is a male whore. Not only, there's difference between adulterer, fornicator, and this, because ahir is the one who do it for business. Ahira, for a female, the one she is doing it for business, a whore. Not a woman, she just slept with somebody, she have a boyfriend, no. So, this man, he did the absolute right decision. This is a very garbage cult, not only full of evil, full of stupidity, full of madness, not only the Quran wrong in about everything. I mean, name one thing the stupid book is not wrong. Just name one thing. Name one thing This book is not stupid. It's impossible. Racism, discrimination against black, against women, against children, abuse, beat your wife. If you are like Andrew Tate, who is mentally ill, a whore mentality, he thinks that the man is the one who controls his wife by missiles. No man can control a woman by missiles, because she can cheat on you in 2 seconds. And then all your honor will be in the ground, under her butt. She can make you have babies, have nothing to do with you. They carry your name and inherit you. A true man is not the man who beat women, is the one who defend them. Islam teach the opposite. The only attractive thing about Islam, that if I became a Muslim, as Muhammad says, Allah will make my penis endless, and I like to use it as a cable for Elon Musk, because he want to connect the internet between here and Mars. And that is really what I am seeking. Imagine if I can rent the penis Allah will give me, which is endless. Have you ever heard of a God want to give somebody endless penis? Is that a reward or a penalty? Is that a reward? I mean, who in the stupid in the world want to believe that there's a God who will do such a thing? Imagine your penis is 1 billion times bigger than you. Hey, husband, where are you? Here. Where? I see a penis only. Oh, yeah, you see the penis. I am peanut. I am the peanut who is attached to the penis. Alhamdulillah, takbir. What a stupid garbage cult. And not only that, don't forget that when you go to heaven, the women there, they will be so white, to the point you will see the marrow of their bones. Like, let us be honest here, don't all of us we like bones? Huh? Because those Arab are obsessed with white women. Muhammad, he promised them that when you go to heaven, you will see the marrow of their bones. Let me show you the reference. Where is the hadith? Here we go. And this is Al-Bukhari. They cannot say to you it's weak. I swear by Allah. I swear by Allah, He will give you women who they are so white. Extremely white. No black women. No Indian. No Spaniel. No Mexican. Only white women. They are so white, so beautiful, to the point they're so pure. Their whiteness is so pure. They will be transparent. It's my dream. It's my dream to have a woman I can see the shit inside her ass. My dream will become true. It's time. It's time. We waited for long. How long we will wait more to get those women who we can see who is eating our hamburger when we put it in the refrigerator? They keep stealing our food, those women, and they say, not me, it's your son. Now it's time. You will see the shit inside them. You will see the fart inside them. And when you see it, you will praise Allah for such a shitty, beautiful women. Man, I think Allah, He think we are dogs and we like bones. Now I know why there is a team, it's called the Bony M. They were thinking about the bony tails And the bony women, look how bony they are. Take a beer. Muslims, the women, they will be so white. I cannot wait, man. Seriously? I mean, how white? How white? Oh, look at this. Where is her vagina? Excuse my language. I don't see it. I see bones. Oh, sorry. I forgot to tell you. You will not see vagina. You see bones only. I told you. You will see the mirror of their bones. Oh. Like we will not see butt? No butt there. There's no butt. You see bones. Oh, okay. No breast? No breast. You see bones. Oh. Well, what about the nipples? I told you there's no nipples. Are you sound like you are talking like Napoleon Bonaparte. That's why they call him Napoleon, because he liked nipples. Oh, okay. So what, I mean, if I cannot, these women don't have boobs, don't have butt, don't have ass, I cannot see her vagina, I cannot see her legs, so what she is for? You idiot. This is the most beautiful woman ever. Bones. Okay, in America, if you got like an extra reward, what they say to you, you will get a bonus, 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 bones. Okay, this is coming from Arabic. So this is bonus. Allah give you extra bonus. You say no? You should be so happy. First, she is so white. So beautiful. I'm sexy and you know it. Man, you will sit with all versions. And by the way, don't think too much about the versions, because none of them is versions. According to Muhammad, each time the woman she lose her virginity, Allah, he places his finger there, make her virgin again. You know, in the Middle East, you know, I was a kid once, and I heard I was in a pharmacy trying, like, going to buy medicine, and then I heard, I was a kid, I don't know what they are talking about. So I heard a woman, she is asking the pharmacist. She said to her, she's a woman, do you have the version again? I don't know what is that version again, you know. And then by time I learned that those Arab women, they sleep with 10,000 men, and then when they get married, they act like they are virgin, like nobody know me, nobody saw my private part. A'udhu billah, a'udhu billah, I'm wearing burqa all the day. So this is made in China. It's a case she inserted in her private part in the wedding day, and she act like she is in pain. And then when he, excuse me, when he do it, blood will come out, and the man will be proud. Oh, she is a virgin. So virgin again became so popular to the point even men, they do inspection before they have their sex, because it became like exposed. Then those Arab women, they start going and doing surgery. So they go abroad, like, you know, visiting some other country or even sometime other cities, and they do some stitches and she is virgin again. But those women, they will be virgin for sure. I assure you that, you know. Yeah, actually, there's a very easy way to find out when you go to heaven, in case you do not know. Like, you know, you go to the bathtub, you put a lot of shampoo, all right? This is between me and you, don't share it with everybody. Those tips only I give it to customers, all right? You put a lot of shampoo. You ask your virgin, the virgin Allah he gave you from heaven, in heaven, you ask her to sit in the bathtub after you mix with shampoo, a lot of bubbles, you know? So, and then you wait until the bubbles settle. Then you ask her to sit down. If there's any bubbles come out, she is not a virgin. You return her to Allah right away, all right? If there's no bubbles, but don't forget, tell her not to fart, all right? Tell her not to fart. So she sit in the bathtub, and bubbles come out. She's a virgin. You return her to Allah right away. Take a picture, like chick, you know. Take a picture, you know, Amazon, you know, that go to return policy, 30 days. Send her back to Allah. You know, cheating. This is cheating. It is a false description of the product. You know. We have to be careful, brother. When we go to heaven, we have to be very careful. All right. I'm doing this for the sake of Allah. You know, no benefit for me from what I just told you. All right, and like bisbis is bisbis. I hope you like this advice, and you know, like Muhammad, you will give me a woman. She is bones. This is how much they are obsessed with the white color. Even the boys in the heaven, how the boys, the servant, they will look like. They are so white. غلمان مخلدون كأنهم لؤلؤ مكنون. Man, even the boys will be around us. Are they naked? Obviously. Read. Abdul. They will be served. By the way, it doesn't say they will be served. It says yatuf. Around them will go. Around them. Maybe they are dancing. We don't know what they are doing. Because, you know, the Muslim, they are obsessed with sex with boys. If you type right now in the internet, Bachabazi, you will see they bring a boy. They prefer having sex with boys more than women. I'm not joking with you. In Arabia, in Pakistan, in all Muslim countries. And those boys, they are like pearls. All right? غلمان مخلدون. And look how white they are. And your wife in the heaven, by the way, they will be jailed for eternity. Nobody can see them. It's very important for the Arab. You know, he married a woman. He put bars in the windows. He locked the door. He hide the phone. You are inside the box. He put you inside a garbage bag. He make one eye to see from it. You cannot talk to people in the street. If you walk behind him. Do you know why? So if somebody flirt with his wife, he will not go into fight because they are coward. But they are so white. They are so white. They are like an egg. Hidden eggs. Unbelievable. I cannot wait to die. Why CP is not in Discord? I cannot go to Discord and I am horny. I'm talking about those beautiful women you wanted to go to Discord. Do you think I can handle the truth now after this? Did you see the pictures we saw? You want me to open Discord and then women, they will text me. Are you serious? Like, just look at my situation now. You people are crazy. It's not easy. It's not easy. Yeah, Abdul, stop touching yourself. I know you. Any Muslim will start touching himself in the chat, I will bounce you. Behave yourself. I know you cannot wait to get this. Look at the bone here. Look, I like the women in the middle. Unbelievable, like her bones. Man, you can put your head there. You can sleep there, you know. I mean, unbelievable. It's so beautiful. Yeah, even her shit is see-through. Invisible shit. Like Allah. So beautiful. Okay. I mean, why you guys are? I'm being honest with you. You know, like you know, honesty is good. All right. Like, you know, the thing, Joe Biden. You know, like have been burdened by what have been. You know, like I don't know, Kamala Harris. I think she was reading the Quran. That's why she is so confused and so stupid. I mean, there's something fishy. You know. I don't know how many of you is new here. I hope you guys you like our program. If you don't like it, I will send you one of those whore. Even in Arabic, the name is whore. It sounds like whore. Actually, they are whores. I mean, they are just made for sex. You don't even know their names. All of them, their name is whore. Whore, which one? Whore number one. You have to number them, by the way. And not only that, Muhammad, he said, your orgasm will be 70 years. The orgasm alone is 70 years. So every Muslim, the lowest reward is 72 plus his wives in earth. But every one of the 72 have 7 maids, oh sorry, 70 maids, and every one of those 70 maids have 70 maids. You can sleep with all of them. But I will focus only with the 70. Forget about the 70. That will make the number so big, and I'm an Arab, I'm not good with the calculator. So if I'm going to have 70 years orgasm, and I have 70 women, that means if I sleep with this woman today, the one in the middle, to forget, I don't like the one in the side. Okay, guys, the one in the middle is mine. That, you know, just to let you know. So the one in the middle, if I sleep with her, in order to come back to her again, is going to happen after 4,900 years only. This is only if we calculate the orgasm. The orgasm alone is 70 years. Like you go to Zakir Naik in the heaven, Assalamu alaikum Zakir Naik. Good prince. I'm having sex. Zakir Naik, I knock at the door 20 years ago, you did not answer. I came after 30 years. Still you did not answer. 40 years, you not answer. 50 years, 60 years, and now it's 70 years. Finally you answer. What happened? Good breath. You are so stupid. I was having orgasm. Zakir Naik, you do have orgasm? Exactly. I bet you did it from your mouth. Because always you spit. Good breath. You are so stupid and you are a thick fat liar. I did not have orgasm from my mouth. I have it from my nose. It's very close. Man. Any Abdul? Who is a new here first time? If you are a new here first time, I feel sorry for you. You better hang up and go, because you will become addicted. And you will get fat, by the way, because you will laugh a lot. Don't you know that if you laugh a lot, you will be healthy, but you will gain weight? Now all the women will leave. Oh no, I'm leaving. Hey women, I was joking. It was just a joke. It's not scientific fact. If Prophet Muhammad said that, it's scientific fact. As long as Prophet Muhammad did not say it, it is not scientific fact, okay? And they are upset. They are upset because this man, his name Dr. Umar, here, he left Islam. Good for you, buddy. You are a smart man. This religion is not even good for donkeys. Even donkeys will not drink camel urine. Only Abdul. I mean, this religion forbid wine and drink camel urine, which is the most concentrated acid, full of filth and bacteria. Go right now and check how much. Forget about United Nations. Go and see how many viruses can be located in the urine of the camel. Even the milk of the camel is dangerous. By the way, Muhammad himself was shocked when he noticed that even rats are smarter than Muslims. You know, animals, they have a special ability we don't have. They can sense and they can smell bad food. So Muhammad, he was noticing the rats in his house. His house was full of rats. So he noticed that the rats, they didn't drink camel milk. And because Muhammad is very scientific, I'm sorry guys, I keep saying Muhammad. Muhammad, police be upon him, Dr. Muhammad, Professor Muhammad. Look what he said. Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi. You see this one here? This is Allah pray on Muhammad. The Muslim translated as Allah bless him. That's a lie. The Arabic word is Salah. Imagine that God is praying on Muhammad. Not Muhammad praying to Allah. No. Allah himself is praying on Muhammad and the angels. Anyway, so Muhammad, he said the following. Look how smart he is. Genius, genius. Oh guys, you cannot see the screen. Hold on. Give me a second. Man, I know many of you will be sad now. Okay, we'll put it back. So guys, show you the hadith or show you the pictures? I'm confused now. Men, they cannot handle it without. I'm afraid that if I take this picture out, all the men will leave. I will lose like 600 right away. I don't know what to do now. How I can show you the hadith without losing the crowd? I don't know. Should we like a Christmas light like this? Attract, leave, attract, leave. Man, I'm genius. Anyway. So Muhammad, he says, a group of Israelis, mystery. We're lost. Nobody knows. You know the song? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows nobody. Nobody. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. I mean, the whole song is about knows. I don't know. So nobody knows what they did. Even Allah? What are you talking about? You should not say that. You are Muhammad. You should know. But I do not see them except that they were cursed and changed into rats. Oh man, the Jews become rats. Oh boy, don't tell that to Netanyahu. Please don't tell that to Netanyahu. Hello? Netanyahu, I have a bad news for you, buddy. Who am? I am an Arab. What? You will send me a pager? Hold on. Take it easy. Take it easy. I'm just going to give you news. I just found one tribe of Israel is missing in the desert of Arabia. Yes. Okay. Take descriptions. They are rats. Why you hang up the phone? Netanyahu, hang the phone. Muhammad, you found that those Jews become rats? Are you sure? Science. This is pure science. For if you look at the reasoning, look at the science. For if you put the milk of a she-camel in front of a rat, it will not drink it. Man. But if it's the milk of a sheep in front of it, it will drink it. Man. So look what happened. Muhammad, he knew that the Jews don't drink camel milk. Must be a connection. This guy is a rat. These are Jews. Jews don't drink camel milk. Rats don't drink camel milk. Those are Jewish Orthodox rats. Allah, he cursed them, but they don't wear a hat. Man, Muhammad is so smart. Unbelievable. Look at the observation. You see, at the time of Prophet Muhammad, there's no laboratory. There's only lap dance. What a stupid cult. Lord have mercy. Oh boy. Again, guys, if you like to have to search my Discord when we go live, you can scan the one in the left corner, that Discord. And if you like to join us in Patreon, it's for free, it's like Facebook. You can scan the code you see in the right corner. I guess you know the difference between left and right, huh? You are not Abdul, are you? So, I hope we had a good time together. And I hope that we learned something new. You are killing me. Here we go. Some people, they will accuse me I killed their parents now. Some people die from laughing. They will say, Christian Prince, he killed my mom. Oh boy. They will go after me. It's not enough that I have more than 1 billion Muslims want to kill me. Now, even the Christian, they look how many they said I died laughing. How you died laughing and you are talking? Liar. I got you busted. Unbelievable. You know, don't believe those people on the internet. They say crazy stuff like, I died laughing. Really? And you're still talking. It sounds like Muhammad when you are in the grave and 2 angels, they come to you and they hit you with the hammer and they ask you 3 questions. All right, guys. I hope you have a good time. I love you all. I hope we did laugh, but at the same time, this is very serious. So if you are a black person, brother, listen carefully. Christ love you. You are a child of God with Christ. You are a slave of the Arab with Muhammad. Those white supremacist cult. This is a religion made for the white, by the white, for the Arab, by the Arab. It doesn't belong to you. The true God speak to you, listen to you, in any language you speak. The Messiah, he sent his disciples, they went to India, to Ethiopia, to Egypt. The first Christians, they went to Africa. Those are the true disciples of Jesus. You are a child of God. You are Asian, you are black, you are white, who care? From their fruits you shall know them. We cannot compare between the filthy Muhammad and our holy Lord. His name is holy, his act is holy, his word is holy, his teaching is holy, his ethic is holy, his command and his life and even his death was holy. When our Lord will come, everyone, every knee will bow down, and those who reject him, they will go where they belong. And those who follow him, they are children of God. Black or white, Asian, Indian, doesn't matter. Your color doesn't count. God doesn't see color. God sees fruits. From their fruits you shall know them. So I say to the black African, you are my brothers and sisters in Christ. I say to the Asian, you are my brothers and sisters in Christ. To the Arab, even though me as an Arab, I don't like my people much, still you are my brother and sister in Christ. There's no way God will hate you. He made you to be his child. You are made in the image of God. In the image of God he made you. So always don't let the devil deceive you. Islam is nothing but a gang of the Arab supremacists. They try to use you and abuse you and enslave you by their language, by their names, by their clothes, by their food. You have to be an Arab to be a Muslim. But after you do everything, at the end of the day, you are African for them. You are nobody. It doesn't matter how much you pray. It doesn't matter how much you present yourself. You are nobody for them. So I hope we can talk about Sudan some other time. I hope we have a good time together, and I pray that my brothers and sisters in Christ, especially the African, they learn something good. Feel free to download my videos. I don't care if people download them. In fact, I encourage you, post them in African on my pages, channels. Feel free. All my videos are for free. And we have a link of bunch of books for free, my books. I write books. So you can read my books. You can educate yourself. You can learn. And you know, the Bible says, my people have been destroyed. They've been perished because of their ignorance. So your enemy is your ignorance. And the Muslim cannot have any way to get into your head unless you are ignorant. The second you are not ignorant, Islam cannot be for you. It's like somebody was in a coma and he just woke up. Islam is of the devil. Even the devil have better ethic than Islam. Thank you all for being here. May the Lord bless you. God is good, and we are the crusade. See you soon.